I didn't come to Kyoto looking for anything. But the moment I stepped off that train at Kyoto Station, something felt different. The air was softer here, cooler, like it carried centuries in every breath. The silence wasn't empty. It was full of stories whispered through temple bells and rustling bamboo. And the way the city seemed to breathe. Slow, steady, unbothered by the chaos I'd left behind. Maybe this isn't just another place on the map. Maybe Kyoto isn't somewhere you visit to find something. Maybe it's where time finally slows down and you find yourself instead. I didn't really plan to come to Kyoto. Maybe it was a picture of a golden temple I saw online glowing in the afternoon light. Or maybe it was just the feeling that somewhere here, time still breathes slowly. Either way, I bought the ticket. The flight felt long, but I didn't mind. I kept thinking about what it would be like. Walking streets I'd only imagined, touching the air of a place that felt both foreign and familiar. When the plane descended into Kansai Airport, I could see the sun flickering through the window, painting the wing gold. I took the train into the city, watching rice fields and mountains pass by. And then, suddenly, I was there. Kyoto Station. Modern glass and steel, but somehow still quiet. I pulled my suitcase through the station, mesmerized by the order, the politeness, the way everyone moved with intention. This city felt different already. Everything here feels calm. Even the sound of the train seems to have rhythm, like the city itself is humming a gentle song. I've been to many cities, loud ones, chaotic ones, cities that never sleep. But Kyoto makes me slow down. It asks me to notice. The bicycles passing by, the students in uniforms laughing softly, the old wooden houses standing beside modern buildings, like different eras living side by side. I walked through the streets that first morning, not knowing where I was going. And somehow, that felt right. Maybe this is where time doesn't rush. Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion. Everyone talks about it, everyone takes pictures. But when I stood there, watching it reflect on the lake, surrounded by pine trees, I understood why. It wasn't just the gold, though it was stunning. The way sunlight made it glow. It was the silence that wrapped around it, the way the trees leaned gently toward the water, the way people stood quietly, just looking, as if the temple itself commanded respect. I stayed there longer than I planned, and something shifted inside me. Here I realized something. Beauty doesn't always mean perfection. In Japan, they call it wabi-sabi, finding grace in impermanence, in things that fade, in moments that pass. I thought about my own life, all the things I've tried to control, all the plans that fell apart. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the lesson. The next morning, I walked into the Arashiyama Bamboo Forest early before the crowds arrived. The air was cool and still. The bamboo towered above me, so tall I couldn't see the tops. Light cut through the mist in thin beams, and the whole world felt green. Green and breathing. Each step echoed softly. The path seemed endless, like I was walking into another world. And then the wind came. The bamboo swayed, creaking gently, and I stopped. I just stood there, listening. When the wind moves through bamboo, it sounds like the earth is exhaling, like the forest itself is alive, breathing with you. Maybe peace isn't found in quiet places. Maybe it's in learning how to listen. Fushimi Inari, the path of 10,000 gates. I'd seen pictures, but nothing prepared me for what it felt like to walk through them. Thousands of red torii gates, one after another, forming a tunnel that winds up the mountain. Each one donated by someone, somewhere, for a prayer, a wish, a hope. Every step between the gates felt like walking through time. People passed by, some jogging, some meditating, some just walking like me. But each gate felt like a question whispered by the past. How many gates do I have to walk through to find where I belong? I didn't make it to the top. My legs were tired, and honestly, I didn't need to. Somewhere along the path, I stopped and looked back. The gates behind me, the gates ahead, all part of the same journey. Maybe traveling isn't about finding new places. Maybe it's about finding new parts of ourselves. Parts we didn't know were lost. At Kiyomizu-dera, I stood on the wide wooden terrace, looking out over the city. A sea of roofs stretched below me, glowing in the sunset. Maple leaves around the temple were turning red, like the whole place was catching fire. But softly, beautifully. For centuries, pilgrims have come here to pray for love, life, and courage. They say if you jump from this terrace and survive, your wish will come true. Of course, no one jumps anymore, but standing there, I felt it. That strange mix of fear and hope, of being both small and infinite at once. Maybe faith isn't about gods. Maybe it's about hope that never fades, even when everything else does. Monks chanted faintly in the distance. The sound mixed with the wind. And for a moment, I felt like I understood something I couldn't put into words. I wandered through narrow alleys, lined with tea houses, dim lanterns glowing softly above. Rain started to fall, light and steady, turning the cobblestones shiny and black. History was alive here, not in museums, but in the air itself, in the wooden buildings, in the way people walked. I saw a geisha walking past, her face painted white, her kimono perfect. She moved like water, graceful and unhurried. I ducked into a small tea house. The owner greeted me, "Irashaimase," and I smiled, gesturing that I'd like tea. She nodded, understanding without words. A cup of matcha arrived. Bitter, green, warm. We didn't speak much. My Japanese was terrible, and her English wasn't much better. But we smiled, we gestured, we understood. That simple tea, shared in silence, felt more human than 1,000 words. Sometimes connection doesn't need language. Sometimes it just needs presence. They call it the philosopher's path, a quiet stone walkway along a canal, once taken by monks seeking enlightenment. Cherry trees lined the path, and though it wasn't cherry blossom season, I could imagine it. Petals falling like snow, covering the ground in pink. I walked alone. The path was peaceful, almost meditative. Water flowed gently in the canal. An old man sat on a bench reading. A couple walked hand in hand ahead of me. I didn't find any answers here, but I found questions I'd forgotten to ask. Questions about what I want, about who I am, about why I keep moving. Maybe life is not about reaching somewhere. Maybe it's about learning how to walk, one step at a time, without rushing, without fear, and that's enough. As the train left Kyoto, I looked back one last time. Dawn was breaking over the Kamo River, soft and pink. The city didn't say goodbye. It simply stayed still, as if waiting for the next traveler, the next story. Something inside me had shifted. I couldn't explain it, but I felt it. A kind of quiet I hadn't felt in years. A kind of peace. Thank you, Kyoto, for teaching me that the most beautiful thing is learning to be still, in an ordinary moment, for showing me that not every journey is about discovery. Sometimes it's about remembering how to breathe, how to notice, how to be present in a world that's always moving. The train moved faster, and Kyoto faded behind me, but I knew I'd carry it with me, not in pictures or souvenirs, but in the way I walk, the way I listen, the way I see. Maybe one day I'll come back, not as a traveler, but as someone who belongs, someone who knows how to sit still and let the world come to them gently. The journey changes when you do. If you enjoyed this journey through Kyoto, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe for more travel stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what this place means to you.